Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Now let's get into it. Hey, dear Yvette, thank you so much for being here, sis. So, guys, now at the beginning of Kandi announcing that she's getting a divorce, um I know some of you, not all, know that I have a little history with Kandi, so I'm pretty sure that a lot of people thought and probably assumed that I would be biased. And you know I try to be very unbiased on my platform, and I try to stay neutral until something hits me where I'm not neutral anymore. Okay. So, as of right now, we the people, especially me, have picked a side. Okay. And that's Kandi Burrus because Todd is out here doing a little bit too much. Okay. So, Kandi shared something on her platform. I believe it was yesterday that almost had me in tears. Okay. And y'all already know how I am, you know. Anyway, and dear Yvette says, yes, he is. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to give you guys some context before I share with you what Kandi said. I'm actually going to share a post from Hollywood Unlocked just to give the people that are not familiar with what's going on some context. So let me go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to flip over to Candy's Instagram so that I can share with you what she actually said. Now, the only thing with that is I can't play the music because Kandi is actually singing a song. Singing. Wow, it's been so long. Where have you been? Thank you so much for being here. So, Kandi is actually singing a song that I never heard before. So, that leads me to believe that Kandi might be getting ready to drop some new music, guys. Okay. On top of everything else she has going on, because we all know that Kandi is the hardest working woman in the industry, and she has many jobs. So many jobs that we can't even count them anymore at this point. Okay. But we already know. Hey, Simone Wealthy, thank you so much for being here, sis. That Kandi works very hard, which is why I'm so annoyed with Todd. Like Todd, she provided you this lifestyle for 11 years. 11 years, Todd. And she financed all of your businesses. Because let's be very clear, Todd. You know what I'm saying? You would never have been able to finance those businesses. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here, my moderator. So let's just keep it a buck, okay? We already know. Now, if you were to Google, you know, their worth, we already know that's not always accurate, okay? We know that that could be a little off, but according to the good old Google, it says that Candy's net worth is $30 million. Now, I can believe that because of the show she did on Broadway, and that show netted a lot of money. Okay, so I can believe that. And when it comes to Todd, it says that he's worth somewhere around 400,000, and he, tried to comfort Kandi and say that when he met her, she was worth 200,000, and we all know that that's not true. Okay, and absolutely, Sydney, I definitely can believe that Kandi is worth even more than that. And Simone says, I didn't know you had history with Kandi. I've met her several times. Let me just say that, Simone Wealthy. So let me go ahead and share my first post. It's all good history, Simone. That's my girl. Love her down. And then I'm going to address some other things, along the way. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that I can give you guys a little bit of context of what is going on. And I'm going to remove this for just a moment so that, I can make sure that you guys can always hear me. Okay, so again, I'm only sharing this just to give context. I'm going to share Candy's actual post when I get ready to read to you guys what Candy actually said. Hey, Cece, thank you so much for being here, sis. And Simone Wealthy says, I'm Team Candy for real, for real. And Sydney says, and guys, please forgive me if I'm not reading your comments in chronological order. I'm just kind of going up. And Sydney said, Todd is showing himself to be an opportunist. I have history with the queen as well. Okay, Sydney. Hey, Sharon Godbolt, thank you so much for being here, sis. Okay, so this is what Hollywood Unlocked had to say. And again, I'm only reading this for context. Kandi Burrus is opening up and admitting she is emotionally broken after filing for divorce from her husband of 11 years, Todd Tucker. The couple first met in 2011 and tied the knot in 2014. As we previously shared, Burrus, 49, filed for divorce from Tucker, 52, on November 21st. Days later, during an Amazon Live video segment, shared on November 24th, the iconic singer, songwriter, and Real Housewives of Atlanta star admitted their split had been brewing for a while. Despite the tough times and them not working out, Burris highlighted the good from their union, like the couple's two wonderful, beautiful children, son Ace Tucker, 9, and daughter Blaze Tucker, 6. She affirmed, I have no regrets. Since the divorce announcement, a source now tells people that Burris allegedly discovered Tucker had been talking to other women behind her back. The source adds that Burris had no idea and was not happy upon learning about her husband's alleged extracurricular activities. The source fully told people Kandi and Todd had been having marriage troubles for a while now. Kandi was not happy because she found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back. She had no idea. Elsewhere, Burris took to her Instagram on Wednesday, December 3rd, and opened up about her emotional brokenness. Several women in the industry and more supported her in the comments. Okay. So now let me go ahead and flip to Candy's actual post. And again, guys, I am not going to play the sound because Candy looks like she's premiering a new song because I never heard this song, but it sounds absolutely amazing. So, guys, if you haven't heard it either or seen the post, make sure you go over there and you listen because Sandy is singing her face off, okay? And Sydney says, he began staying at strip clubs for late hours. Yes, honey, after they done turned the lights on, what married man does that? Okay. So let me go ahead and read to you guys what Candy said in this post that she made on yesterday. Candy said, this is what I look like when I'm going through something. I show up and let me go ahead and press the button to so that it could um she says, I show up for many family. I show up for my family. I show up for my friends. I show up to handle my business. And I show up with a smile, all while on the inside, I'm emotionally broken. In every picture of this video, I was internally dealing with something life changing that most of the people in the pics with me had no clue of my inner stress and sadness. This is not being fake. This is just how I deal with things. I internalize and I deal with it alone. I am the poster child for the saying, check on your strong friends because you never know what they are going through. I normally don't like to share stuff like this, but I was listening to this old song that I wrote years ago and felt like it perfectly described how I feel. So I don't know, guys. This song might be old. Let me know if you've actually heard this song once you hear it. Now, when I tell you the girls showed up for Candy in these comments, the girls really showed up for Candy. Just everybody, not even necessarily just women. Everybody showed up for Candy. Okay. And let me see here. I'm just going to let the pictures show. Monica Denise posted and she said, I overstand. Just know we all are praying for you and support you, Candy. This too shall pass. Speaking as a believer and one that's experienced it. Now, I'm not going to read all of their posts, but I'm just going to call out some of her close friends that did respond. Cynthia Bailey, Shamir Morton, Angela Oakley, Drew Sadora, The Campfire. Okay, shout out to you, Campfire. Portia For Real, Terry Vaughn, The Real Tamika Scott, who is Kelly, which we all know from Kelly on Roa, Ming Lee, and many, many more. Okay, Tammy Roman, So Brat, DJ N1, Rashida, the Jessie Woo, Don Juan, who is her personal assistant, Toya Johnson, her best friend Carmen. I know all the peeps, okay? So it seems like Todd may have gotten a little jealous because this thing is really turning into like a competition. And I hadn't really planned on um sharing Todd's post because at this point I just want to make it all about Candy, but I am going to share Todd's post just so that y'all can know what Todd has going on these days. So let me stop sharing that. Check back. And Sydney says it sounds good. Okay, you heard it, Sydney. Okay, awesome. Candy's new song is fire. And that's the thing. She said that she was listening to an old song, and maybe she was listening to something else, but she decided to attach that particular song to the video. And Dear Yvette said she should have known that sawed off Ninja Turtle was shady from the beginning. He never loved her, in my opinion. A lot of people feel that way, Dear Yvette. And Sharon said, if the song is old, I've never heard it. Okay, so you, like me, you've never heard it either. Okay, so let me go ahead and share with you guys what Mr. Todd um, posted just to let you guys see how it appears that now Todd wants sympathy. Okay, so Todd posted this. Well, actually, it looks like Todd posted this today. Kandi made her post on yesterday, and I'm pretty sure he was all on, in his feelings because he's not feeling the love. And that's what it is. I mean, Todd, we didn't know who you were before you started dating Kandi. Okay. And I'm pretty sure you thought she was a country bumpkin that you could just take advantage of, because you're from the big city of New York. But that's just not the case. Candy's very smart. She's an amazing business person, So yeah, Todd, you were actually out of your league, okay? So Todd said, my boy, and he tagged his friend Sebastian and said, knew I was going through a tough moment and offered me a chance of scenery, a change of scenery. We've been friends for 11 years. Around the same time you were married to Kandi. I wonder how you met him. You probably met him through Kandi because that's pretty much why you got with her. Your ex-girlfriend, Mila, said that you got with Kandi so that you can utilize her for her contacts, okay? And all of her connections in Atlanta because that's where you were working at the time. And his support has always meant a lot. I started a day by the pool and somehow ended the night on the campaign trail with him and his team as he steps into politics. Grateful for a friend who inspires me, motivates, and always remembers to give back. Truly appreciate you, bro. So this is Todd. And I'm not sure, he didn't say exactly where he is, if he's still in Georgia or if he went on a little vacation. Doesn't seem to be too fancy, Todd. But however, I'm not sure why the volume, maybe this video don't have any volume. But anyway, I'm assuming that this might be Todd's friend. And he's letting you guys know that he's out there with the politics stuff. Doesn't look like a lot of fun, but he's supporting his friend. It looks like he might be at a concert or something. So Todd got about 2,000, maybe 3,000 at this point, people that responded. And when I tell you probably 250, I haven't checked since people have supported Kandi on her page. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys that little thing with Todd. And Sydney says only one new Todd was fake Phaedra. Okay, so Phaedra, oh yeah, because she's the one that set him up allegedly. And Sydney also said, how convenient, 11 years. Exactly. So let's move on. So the next thing I want to share with you guys is what Candace Dillard had to say. Now, let me just say this. I don't know a whole lot about Candace just because I know she had a baby. I know she's married and all those things, but I don't watch her show. So, but I know she sings as well. She's an entertainer and she has a very nice voice. I think I seen her recently um reenacting Tony's song, He Wasn't Man Enough. But here's what she had to say on the matter. Wait a minute. Let me make okay. Nope, I was not sharing. When I tell you these people are coming out and speaking in defense of Kandi, a lot of people are really offended by how Todd is handling this situation.
Um, it is a slap in the face and it is a stab in the front to insinuate that I shouldn't have my kids because I'm always working. Like, I was working when you found me, sir. Okay. You only was looking at me and holler and trying to holler because I'm a working ass bitch.
They met at work.
They met at work. Okay. You met me at my place of employment. He was employed too at that place, but you came over to where I was employed at and was trying to holler. Okay. Or maybe it was, I don't know if they were hollering. I don't know what the holler was, but people was hollering at people. Okay. But you knew who I was. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Like I wasn't just no regular ass bitch. Like I was Kandi Burrus.
I was
Okay.
wondering if I was about to hit regular ass bitch.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Yes. Kandi, and she's not no regular ass bitch, okay? And she never has been, okay?
She's worldwide.
So, okay, she's worldwide, truly. And so I don't like the tone behind the statement. I should have joint custody because the kids are with me anyway because she's always working. I don't like the tone because yes, Kandi is kicking ass and slaying dragons on Broadway, but she's doing and Juliet on Broadway right now. For those of you that don't know, please support. I will be planning on supporting as well. And she's in New York, and I have aspirations to be on Broadway. And what keeps me up at night is thinking about how I will take care of my son. Where will he live? What will he do? And it's easier for me, God willing, if I'm able to make it to Broadway before he's 5, because he's not in school. Kandi and Todd's kids are in school, so they can't come with her unless it's summer. They have to be home because you have to maintain a routine for children. And Kandi she's always worked and followed her dreams and done above and beyond, gone above and beyond to provide for her family and accomplish her goals. And so to set out this idea that, well, she's not with them anyway because she's working. Yeah. Yes, I'm working so that all of you can live in this lifestyle that you have become accustomed to. Is always doing more than I need to. Um, it is a slap in the face, and it is a stab in the front to insinuate that I shouldn't have my kids because I'm always working. Like, I was working when you found me, sir. Okay. You only was looking at me and trying to holler because I'm a working ass bitch.
And that at
Okay,
work.
so you heard what Candace had to say, and I absolutely love everything that Candace said because, first of all, if you know anything about Kandi Burrus, everybody knows that Candy's goal has always been to get an EGOT, okay? An Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, and I think she only has one left to get. So this is nothing new. Kandi had goals before she met Todd. And Todd, I'm sorry that you didn't have any real goals. You tried to create some when you were with Kandi because you needed something tangible to hold on to. And after, you guys were going to be divorced because you knew this was coming down the pipeline, you were trying to stack up the businesses. How can you have so many businesses, but you claim you were the one that was always home taking care of the kids? Kandi also cleared that up. She said that she has always paid for a nanny. So when you were being so strategic, posting all your videos about daddy daycare, you had a nanny the whole entire freaking time. You started a trucking business. You started several restaurants. And when did you have all this time for the daddy daycare? There had to obviously be somebody around, like a nanny, Todd. We're not buying it. And Sydney said, quiet as it's kept, Kandi will be okay as she is a fighter and God knows her heart. He will protect her through this troubling situation. She will come out bigger and stronger. And she already has. She is really killing it on Broadway. Now she's doing At Juliet currently. And the thing about it is, Riley's in New York. So wherever she is, she's still got a support system you know. And Sydney also said, I agree, that was all true what she spoke. So for him to try to make it seem like, oh, she's always at work, yes, she's the breadwinner in the family. She's providing a lifestyle. She's leaving a legacy for her family. Okay. Now, Go ahead and take that out. Now, this next clip that I'm going to show you guys, this lady is an attorney, but she's usually an attorney for the men. But interestingly enough, this time she's speaking for Kandi, okay? And it's nothing nice.
Someone asked the baby daddy's lawyer to enter the chat and speak on Kandi and Todd. Well, baby, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Todd, it really was a scheme that you set up to come to us with the bullshit. And that's crazy because baby Mama Joyce and them old ladies, they clocked your tea. Now, y'all know I ride for the baby daddies. I'm the baby daddy's lawyer, baby. I'm going to pull up behind the baby daddies. Todd, you're wrong. You're wrong. You never liked that girl. Don't talk about she ain't look like Rihanna, baby, and you don't look like Idris, baby. You barely look like the little leprechaun from the hood. But I'm not here to roast. I'm not here to talk about you. We're here to talk about business. Sir, what are we doing? You signed a prenup on national television in front of a notary, in front of witnesses, stating that you were not coerced, and now you want to go into court and say that you were coerced. Now, let me tell y'all something. Todd is a little smart because he made sure to say, I'm signing this document without my lawyer present. He can claim that he didn't know what he was signing, that he didn't understand the terms and conditions, and it really was a scheme that Kandi and Mama Joyce set up to come to us with the bullshit. No, Todd, no. The reason you ask for child support is because you know alimony and anything that y'all got while y'all was married, you done signed your rights away, baby. That dang prenup was ironclad. As I was saying, because somebody started banging on the wall like a freaking banshee, you've signed your rights away. There's nothing that you can do to get out of this prenup because you made it very clear that you were entering this prenup of your own volition. So, sir, now you're trying to turn around and take this lady kids away because you're still looking for a payday is crazy. Get a job. You're a bum. You're a bum. A bum. I would call you a bum bee, but you're not even worth it. You're just a bum.
All
Someone
right.
asked the baby.
That's what the baby daddy attorney had to say. So a lot of, a few people had been talking about the lawyer that Kandi hired. So let me just play you guys a little clip on what Jessie Wu, I'm sorry, had to say about the lawyer. And if you live in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this lawyer. And let me know if you guys are familiar with Kandi's lawyer. And she's going to actually tell you guys who she is, Adamo.
Adama ain't nothing to fuck with. Let me just say that. She's nothing to fuck with. Okay. And I've seen a lot of commentary about, Kandi should have got a high-powered attorney. Kandi got a T-move. Look her up. Look up her clientele. The bitch ain't nothing to fuck with. The bitch ain't nothing to fuck with. And I say that respectfully. Okay? Nothing to fuck with. And I'm of the belief during Black Women's, what the is going on in Atlanta Black Women's Month, I would rather her have a Black women's attorney. That's just me. I don't know how the rest of y'all be feeling, but I would rather her have a Black women's attorney. I would. Especially a Black women's attorney from Atlanta. Because one thing about it, She not just gonna have her eyes on the law, she gonna have her ears to the streets, bitch. Okay. And while People Magazine said that the exclusive is not coming from Kandi or Todd, they're not saying who it is. Bitch, I wouldn't be surprised if my bitch here did this. Just to let Todd puss ass know, nigga, we coming for everything. Like, we're not playing with you. We're not playing with you. That daddy daycare shit is cute. It's cute. The daddy daycare shit's cute. It's cute. It's cute. Just to give you an idea of who's representing Kandi. So Adama McKinnon. If you're in Atlanta and you're on the scene, you know Adama.
All righty. That's what she had to say. You know, she said that she's an awesome attorney. She's very well known. She works for some very powerful people. She said if it was her, she would have rather had, you know, a black attorney woman, just because, you know, not only would she be good at her job, but also have her ear to the streets. And I get that. Hey, Paula, thank you so much for being here. Glad you caught alive. And Sydney said he got half of everything they did together. He wants half of everything they did together. Absolutely. And Sydney also said, but the judge asked him if he knew what he was signing. He absolutely knew it because it was filmed. That was very smart. And there is one other thing that I think I forgot to save it, but I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm getting ready to pull that up. Come on, come on. Yes, guys, they are starting to compare Todd to Kevin Federline, and we all know what he did to Britney Spears. So he is being compared to Kevin Federline, and I'm Todd. That is not a good look for you. I'm just saying, it really isn't a good look. Okay. Yeah, you might end up with the money, but your reputation and how people are going to look at you, especially since there was a whole meme made about you that this looked like a scheme set up by Todd to come to us with the bullshit. Like, that's who you will forever be, Todd. So let me just give you guys a little context before I share this. Apparently, Funky Dineva is enjoying being in the spotlight and trending for several days. It started with Tamar Braxton. Now, you know, Funky Dineva claims that he knows the woman that Todd is cheating on Kandi with. Oh my God. Funky, I really think you should have sat this one out. Because, I mean, now it's just looking like you're the same person that you're accusing Tamar of being, a clout chaser.
Hold it. I'ma hold it. Her name start with an H. You home wrecking whore. Because I want you to know I know who you is.
Let me start that over.
And here's the thing. If I know who you are, and if the information got to me,
Start that over. Just so that. Oh, wait a minute.
Todd was around somebody's house. Okay. And I got her pictures. I know where she stay. And I know her name. But I don't want to bring no extra stress and duress around Kandi house. So I'ma hold it. I'ma hold it. Her name start with a H. You home wrecking whore. Because I want you to know I know who you is. And here's the thing. If I know who you are, and if the information got to me, it's only a matter of time. I'm giving it by next Wednesday before your face is plastered all over the internet. So, Miss H, you might want to get your ducks and your story in a row, because the way the internet is finna come eat you alive over Kandi Burrus, you gonna wish you never even winked at that man. Okay? Now, out of respect, with a K and not a T, out of respect, I ain't gonna want to be the one to break it, because I don't know what all going on around them people's house. And I don't want to add no extra stress around this lady house. Let's do a couple things. Y'all can stop it with the Todd got somebody pregnant rumor. Todd had a vasectomy very early on in their relationship. Okay. That's a little bit of tea. I don't know if I was supposed to tell that or not. Todd ain't got nobody pregnant. Nah, Todd was around somebody's house.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I just wanted to let it catch up to make sure you guys heard everything. So, guys, Funky, I don't know how he knows this information. Maybe some of you knew this information. Sydney, since you seem to know all the Atlanta tea, he said that Todd got a vasectomy, so Todd ain't got nobody pregnant, okay? So, and Sydney says no, while they were married, Kandi split half the money they made on projects. Absolutely. And Todd was actually making a salary, like she was paying Todd. So Todd, that's how Todd was able to get the 400,000. You know, he was actually receiving, just like you said, half from Kandi. And Simone Wealthy said, say what now? He knows who. He's saying that he knows the lady that Todd been creeping with. And Simone said, FD is fond of Kandi, though. Yeah, I can tell that. At least the last time I checked, but you never know. But maybe he's provoking somebody else to spill the tea. Maybe he doesn't want to spill the tea, but he wants somebody else to spill the tea. But maybe he should have. If he's a good friend, maybe he should have just stayed quiet. I don't know. And Sydney said, "Listen to that. Listen, that is old news. Todd been rolling with this lady for months on months. Who is it, Sydney? I know you know who it is. Who is it?" And Cece said, "Who is Miss H? Huda?" I don't believe so. I don't think that he's Huda's type. I think Huda likes tall men. Yeah, I don't think it's Huda, but that was a good guess. Okay. Um, I also wanted to let you guys know that it's also being said that Todd is also refusing to leave the Atlanta home, allegedly. Woo! Like she didn't gave you a lifestyle for 11 years. And she said early on that that was her dream home. And I heard that she paid cash for that home, allegedly. You said you never cared anything about the home. We heard you say that multiple times. We heard you say that when you was sitting down with Mama Joyce. You always said you didn't care about the home. So I'm not sure. So it's a good thing that Kandi is in New York because, that eliminates that problem. You can stay there because she's not there until y'all figure things out. So that's actually working to your benefit. And Simone said, laugh out loud, who this woman, Todd? Todd has no legs to stand on. Exactly. And I want to share one thing with you guys before I get out of here. And I thought this was absolutely beautiful. And it could not have been said better. And I want to leave Kandi with this. I want to make sure you guys hear this loud and clear.
Handled is never coming back. Let's be very clear about that. People love to show up like you're still the same woman they played with, the one who ignored the red flags, overextended herself, and still kept giving grace to people who only gave her confusion. But that girl, yeah, she's gone. You outgrew the version of yourself that tolerated inconsistency. You outgrew the season where you explained what was already obvious. You outgrew the phase where potential impressed you more than character. And they're shocked, not because you changed, but because they never thought that you would. And here's the part most people won't say out loud. God will evolve you in ways that expose who was only connected to your weakness. Because some people were only comfortable when you were insecure, silent, or unsure of yourself. But the Bible says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. But when I became an adult, I put my childish ways behind me. Meaning, elevation is your responsibility. Outgrowing people is a requirement. Maturity is moving different. So no, that old version of you is not coming back. She served her purpose. She learned her lessons. She buried her insecurities. And she made room for the woman you are now, disciplined, discerning, and divinely guided. This new you carries wisdom. This new you carries standards. This new you carries favor, and anybody who mishandled you before, they're not even qualified to meet this version now. So walk in it boldly, moving it confidently, and remember, God does not miss. The version of you they mishandled is never coming back. Let's be very clear about that. People love to show up like you're still the same woman they played with, the one who ignored the red flags, overextended herself, and still kept giving grace to people who only gave her confusion. But that girl, yeah, she's gone. You outgrew the version of yourself that tolerated inconsistency. You outgrew the season where you explained what was already obvious. You outgrew the phase where potential impressed you more than character. And they're shocked, not because you changed, but because they never thought that you would. And here's the part most people won't say out loud. God will evolve you in ways that expose who was only connected to your weakness. Because some people were only comfortable when you were insecure, silent, or unsure of yourself. But the Bible says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. But when I became an adult, I put my childish ways behind me. Meaning, elevation is your responsibility. Outgrowing people is a requirement. Maturity is moving different. So no, that old version of you is not coming back. She served her purpose. She learned her lessons. She buried her insecurities. And she made room for the woman you are now, disciplined, discerning, and divinely guided. This new you carries wisdom. This new you carries standards. This new you carries favor, and anybody who mishandled you before, they're not even qualified to meet this version now. So walk in it boldly, moving it confidently, and remember, God does not miss.
God
The
does
version of
not
you they
miss.
mishandled is
There you
never.
go. So, Kandi, I wanted to leave you with this because, honey, God don't miss. So let me read a few comments before I get out of here, guys. And Sydney says, I absolutely know it's not for me to speak it out. Don't worry. Funky Dineva giving her or whoever till next Wednesday. And I guess if they don't put it out there, he's gonna put it out there. And Nicholas Burke says, I'm gonna be on Kandi Burrus' side. I know that's right, Nicholas. And Simone Wealthy said, child at Sydney Dennis, go ahead and tell us. Let the network specialist break an exclusive. According to the streets, everybody in Atlanta know it. Right, Sydney? And Simone says that she is speaking facts. Sydney says, well said. So yes, I love that message for her. I mean, it seems like it was just made for Kandi because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but Kandi has a different look about her. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell that everything about her has leveled up. Her hair, her overall look, she looks like she's been in the gym, her fashion, just she looks beautiful. She is definitely glowing these days. Okay, that's what that's what that Broadway money is doing, honey. Kandi always been fly, but it just seems like lately, especially when, I played that video clip of all the different pictures, like Kandi looks absolutely amazing. And that could have something to do, with her little chick on the side. I don't know. Because when people are loving you right, or, you're getting treated right, sometimes you have a different look. I'm just saying, you know. And I really want people to stop talking about the fact that Kandi and Todd had threesomes because at the end of the day, Kandi was who she was before she got with Todd. So none of this is new. Todd he just not the one. Todd had ulterior motives, and it is what it is. And one thing about Kandi, even if she does do threesomes and invite people into her bedroom, when it comes to cheating, because that's a decision that they both made, Candy's not with that. She's okay with doing it, but we have to always be honest with each other. We have to have an open line of a communication, and it's all about communication. So if Todd stepped outside of that without Kandi, he's a cheater, and he doesn't deserve, to move on and let some other bitch spend Candy's money. If they made that agreement, that was an agreement that they made. If he stepped outside of that, then he doesn't deserve to spend Candy's money because that's what he's going to be doing. That's why a lot of women don't want to leave their money to their exes or their husbands or whatever the case may be. Like Tracy Braxton, because they don't want their money to be spent on the next woman that he's going to hook up with. I'm not saying whether it's wrong or right, but it is what it is. And Cece said, I noticed she has better stylists. Absolutely. Them outfits be fire. Okay. I'm just saying. And which leads me to believe that's why he mad. That's why he jealous. Because she has leveled up. Her bank account has leveled up. Everything has leveled up. And Simone said, yes, she does. Her new stylist is working it well. And Sydney says, true. So we're not worried about Kandi. We're not. She did everything right. She couldn't have done anything differently. When you got somebody with ulterior motives or an opportunist, there's no way around not having some type of friction. This was never going to go over easily. It was never going to be amicable. So it is what it is. Todd has been very intentional and he's been planning this from the beginning. Okay. And I can't figure out if he's trying to say he didn't have a lawyer present and he didn't know what he was signing. Okay. You had 11 years to revisit that situation, Todd. Why did it take 11 years? Why did it take Kandi filing for divorce before you realized that you didn't have a lawyer present and that you didn't know what you were signing, even though it aired on national TV? Like, why didn't you revisit this situation before now? That's my only question, Todd. If you would have done it like right after y'all got married, maybe even a year or two, maybe even after the kids were born. Ace is 9 years old at this point. And um I believe Blaze is what, 5 or 6? I don't know. You had ample time to go back and, redo the prenup or challenge the prenup, but you didn't until now. So that's why you look so suspicious. And Sydney says all of them signed NDAs. And Simone said, and I bet he didn't have that hoe sign an NDA. They made all of their threesome partners sign NDAs. This side chick could potentially come out with all sorts of tea. See, that's really what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on her to spill it. Because at the end of the day, if Todd does not end up with Candy's money and she end up not getting this bankroll like she thinks she's getting, and she thinks she fixing to spend Candy's money, I guarantee you she gonna out Todd, because she gonna want to, at that point, she's going to want to make herself relevant, just like Todd. Todd will always be able to live off of Candy's name. So she's trying to do the same. Oh, she wants to be known for for Todd's side chick so that she could be tied to Candy some kind of way. And a lot of women, that's what they do. They don't even really want you. They just want you because you Kandi Burrus' husband. You understand what I'm saying? That's how a lot of chicks play the game. They just want you because you belong to somebody else. Some women prefer married men because guess what? You pay their bills, but they don't have to deal with the BS of you being around all the time, the arguments. They get the good side of you. You understand? So, like I said, some women prefer married men. Some women love to be number two. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. And guys, I am going to end on that note. If you did not like the video on your way in, please like the video on your way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, gang, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. And drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.